Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this week's options watch list. Before I get into the watch list, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Right now, the put to call ratio right now is at 0.64. It's nothing spectacular. It's in the middle, so there's nothing to point out there. Now, looking at the economic calendar for the week, we got a lot of inflation numbers coming out. I'm just refreshing it. Tuesday, we have nothing Monday. Tuesday the 12th, we have core CPI and CPI at 8:30 in the morning. Wednesday, we don't really have anything but a couple Fed speakers. Thursday, we have core PPI and unemployment claims at 8:30 on Thursday. And Friday, we have retail sales at 8:30 and consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. So we have some data this week. So not really looking at too much this week. I mean, this market's not going to do anything until we get some inflation numbers, and that will pretty much dictate what's going to happen. So we'll just play it day by day and see how the pre-market looks and go based off pre-market. But right now, SPY is at 637, all-time high is 639. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if we made new all-time high before inflation numbers come out. So watch it over 638 for push to 640. I mean, if we get over all-time high and get to 640, I mean, we could push to 650 because that's going to be a pretty big round number, the 650 level. So we could definitely keep an eye on that, but also keep an eye on if it does get below 636. We have tons of gaps to fill. 633, 624, and we have bigger ones down here at the 600 level, 601 area on the daily, and then we have 573. We have this one down here at 530, which just seems kind of crazy. We can't even get to 600, let alone 530. We'd have to see something extremely major. We haven't seen or heard anything about Powell. So Powell didn't raise rates last FOMC meeting, and Trump didn't do anything this past week. So I wouldn't put too much. Maybe nothing happens. I don't know. But VIX. VIX right now is at 15. It can get down to 14, and pretty much the solid floor is right around 12. So VIX, I mean, if SPY runs a 650, VIX would probably be right around 13, 12, which would line up with the weekly, and we get to this area of 13 to 12. Then we'll probably end up seeing something that will scare the market, which could be inflation numbers this week. And VIX pops off that. So definitely keep an eye on VIX. The lower it gets, the closer we are to get something from happening to scare the market. Now, VIX is just measures volatility. It's like a compressed spring. So the lower VIX gets, the more violent the bounce is going to be. So it only can be compressed for so long. And so far before it actually expands and rockets. So VIX, keep an eye on VIX. VIX is going to be important this week. BA, like I said, I'm not watching that much. BA did bounce a little bit this past week, but I would watch it underneath 220. I mean, I know that, if it gets up to what this area up here, 634, and maybe it bounces to 640, but I'm only interested if it drops more because it's pretty overextended on the weekly. So I'd be watching it underneath 220 for a push to 210, 200, maybe even 190. Got a gap fill down here at the 170 area, so definitely keep an eye on that. Disney is starting to pull back. Disney with a D, not a it's starting to pull back right here. It's starting to come back into the range. It likes to reject that 120 level, so it's got a gap fill right here at 108, 107, which is from earnings right here, I think. Yeah, or from earnings. So watch for a drop underneath Friday's low of we'll say 111 to 110 to 108, which is going to be gap support, but it's probably going to end up breaking that if we end up getting to it. So filling the gap at 105. Oh yeah, that's earnings gap up right there. So yeah, I watch for this gap up at 105. I mean, gap fill at 105. Definitely watch that one. NVIDIA just had some news out about security risks for their chips. So we'll have to see if that has any effect. If it doesn't, I would watch it over 183. It gets over 183. We're probably going to rocket to probably 200. Well, 190 to 200. So definitely keep an eye on that now. If the news is bad and the market reacts, well, the news is considered bad with security threats, but it depends on how the market's going to react to it. Now, if the market reacts negative towards it, I would watch it underneath 181 or even 180 for pushback to 175, 170, 165, 160. I get a bearish divergence going on. You can see the price is going up. Well, actually, no, we've already had a bearish divergence right there. So, yeah, avoid the bearish divergence because it's not valid right now. So, yeah, scratch the bearish divergence on the weekly. On the daily, though, however, we do have it. Price is going up. RSI is coming down. So, NVIDIA will be very important to see how it reacts to the news over the weekend. The security threats on the chips. Now Tesla, on the other hand, oh, wrong Tesla. I always type this in for some reason. Okay, Tesla. Tesla, it's been chopping in the weekly, holding the RCT trend line on the weekly and rejecting this 330 level. I think, we get up to 330, 335. We're probably going to push to 350 and 360, maybe even to this 370 area up here. So definitely keep an eye on that we might actually end up having a strong push out of Tesla. Yeah, 360 be the short term. I don't know if we can get to 400 or not, but definitely 350, 360s on the deck for Tesla. So that's the only thing I'm watching this week. I don't really like too much this week, so we'll have to see what inflation does. Hopefully we'll get some volatility and get some good plays and stuff like that. So that's going to do it for the watch list, and thanks for watching.